Hello everyone and welcome back to the 7-Minute Smoke Show, where I take roughly 7 minutes to show you a game I think you should check out. Now you may ask yourself, why 7 minutes? Well, that's because
7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
today we're going to be looking at
What is that?
Mirror's Edge.
Nice.
Are you ready, kids? Bring it on!
Mirror's Edge, releasing on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 of November 11th, 2008, and then later coming to PC, January 12th, 2009. Only a couple months later. Mirror's Edge falls into the game category I like to call games I wish I played when I was a kid, because child me would have fucking exploded had I got to play this game. It's the parkour game I always wanted. Dying Light, too many zombies.
No, I don't want to fucking play!
Titanfall, it's too many guns.
Chicken sandwich.
Assassin's Creed,
Alright, so in that situation, Brendan, I'm gonna kill you.
this is as pure as parkour gets, ladies and gentlemen. You got your standard stuff. You got your running, your jumping, your sliding, your wall running. Think almost anything you can do in Dying Light and Titanfall, and put that in a Mirror's Edge, but make it more realistic and grounded. That is what you can do. Anything you could do in those, you could pretty much do here. But you know what you couldn't do in those games? Jump, turn around mid-jump, and flip the world off, landing 30 feet on your back.
This is what we in the business like to call
Fucking hardcore!
Apparently this is the UK version of the middle finger. I could be wrong, though. It's still cool that you can do it, though. You can't tell me it's not. But I think the greatest addition to the parkour system is the coil move. Coiling is a very simple gameplay mechanic. All you're doing is tucking your legs to avoid clipping objects, because yes, your legs actually do matter this time around. If you don't coil your legs when you're hitting a fence or a piece of wall that you think you can cover, you will in fact scrape up against it and lose all your flow. Here's a perfect example of this. As I run up to try and wall run over this wall, I can't do it because my legs clipped it. But if I redo this same exact thing, but coil my legs, I make it over. It's such a small addition, but once you really integrate this into your gameplay, you flow.
Runners see the city in a different way. We see the flow. Rooftops become pathways and conduits, possibilities, and routes to escape. The flow is what keeps us running, keeps us alive.
Though, be careful with your flow state, because you might flow a little too hard.
Oh, I missed!
This should go without saying, but momentum plays a huge part in how you move. Having momentum and speed is the difference between easily scaling a wall with little to no slowdown to individually placing each hand and pulling yourself up with all of your weight behind you. But that's like any momentum-based game. It's the point. You're supposed to mess up. You're supposed to redo it, and you're supposed to get just that little bit faster. Because now, you know what's coming, and you can prepare efficiently. I think combat in this game is very meh. It's very flow killer, as you kind of have to stop and focus on what you're doing with the opponent if you want to get anything done. You have a couple options. You got punches, you got low punches, slide kick, drop kick, disarms. You can go into slow-mo, but you can't cancel out of the slow-mo, and I argue that it's a little too slow. It's just it's a pace killer. You can use it, it's there if you want to, but you're better off just running because that's what you're best at. There's also gunplay, but it is also incredibly weak, as your only real weapons are pistols and SMGs, because those are the only ones you can run and do parkour with. Snipers, shotguns, and SMGs are not viable outside of when you actually get into the fights. And you drop every gun when it runs out of ammo. You cannot carry anything. Clearly, not the main focuses of the game, obviously, because it's all about running and using your environment. Speaking of environment, the world is gorgeous. For a 2008 game on the 360, this game still looks really good environment-wise anyways. Though you probably won't notice that because you're going to be, you know, running. But if you ever decide to take the time and look around, you'll notice the world feels cold and sterile, with only primary colors and secondary colors taking the biggest bloom and effect. And I think it contrasts it really well. This is a very dystopian world lore-wise. And those colors are used as landmarkers and waypoints. Red is your main pathfinder in this game. It'll show you what things you can parkour over and kind of where you're supposed to go in a sense, because if you don't really see any red, you're probably not supposed to go that way. The only problem I have with the lighting and coloring is the lighting. It's a little too bright. I know that's ironic coming from me, but when I have certain scenes I simply cannot see because the lighting is this. Not a big issue though, just a slight nitpick. Also, be careful whenever you respawn in areas like this because you might just end up... The music in this game is also really good. You've got 4 sets. You've got ambience, combat, chase, and puzzle. I forgot to mention there were puzzles, but it's a parkour game. You can imagine what that sounds like. For the majority of this video, I've been having flight ambience play in the background. It's a very still and peaceful song. Almost has like an electric twang in the background. The prologue has a kick-ass chase theme. Flight's combat makes me want to actually engage with the combat because it's so good. And my personal favorite, the E3 theme, or more appropriately, the title screen. If you think you're interested in buying it, buy it on sale. This game is $20 on Steam and $15 on Xbox. It's not even playable on new systems for PlayStation. You have to have a PS3. It is physically backwards compatible with modern Xbox systems though. This is definitely not a game for everyone. It's gonna test your reflexes, it's technical, it's short, and it can be kind of clunky sometimes. But if you're itching for that true parkour experience, I can't recommend enough Mirror's Edge.
Oh, playtime is over. How fortunate for you.